where were we? Oh, so last time I had got DynamoDB set up. This is the command. Oh, remember we were wondering how on earth to deploy the actual database, the graphic.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know what it was. You know what it was.
What?
The clues in the net. The clues in the category of database. It's schemaless, isn't it? So where I was originally listing all the fields, and then for the
Oh,
key,
yeah,
it was
you
like,
only do it on
oh,
the
you need
insert.
more fields. It's like the only fields you need to define are the ones that contribute to the key. So I just had to delete everything apart from the
Right,
record ID.
because that confused me when you were describing a schema. I think I saw a screenshot for it. I was like,
Yeah.
"What database is he using?" I,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, you're describing like fields and stuff like that." I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I
it's
know.
it's
right.
useful mentally to kind of at least know what fields are going to be the core. Because when you film with semi-structured, you still have core fields generally, don't you?
A document DB means everything goes into one big blob of JSON, and you don't need to
Mhm.
care about it. That's what I've been
Yeah,
told
Yeah.
by the people on the internet.
that's it. That's the official word. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if I'd
That
100% agree
the
with that,
people
but
on the
yeah,
internet have told me that I don't need to care about any data structure whatsoever.
that
I
seems
would
pretty
much rather
legit.
have
Yeah.
structure, but whatever.
And they know. The
Um,
people on the internet know.
the internet is
Not
wise.
much, they know.
Um, right. So where was I? Oh yeah. So I'll show you the function.
What was I
So the
doing last
function
time?
just does this. Creates just a random
Don't know
task.
yet.
Um,
Look at this
so
C
create
sharp add
DynamoDB client.
override.
Sorry,
Nothing. Nothing.
what? No, right. This is going
Yeah.
to be refactored. This is just to try and get something in this task record table. But it was like, oh my god, man, 404. I was like, oh, of course it's 404 because
Of
this
course it
runs in
is.
Docker. And at the time, DynamoDB was running locally. So I was like, okay, Googled, how do I get Docker to talk to look at something hosted on my local machine? And people are like, what, mate? The whole point of Docker is you don't do that. So I was like, okay, cool. So that kind of makes sense. So I found a Docker image or whatever you call it, container,
Yep. Yep.
Amazon's very own. So that must be Ace. Installed that and uninstalled all my local DynamoDB stuff. And then that's as far as I've got because I was like, I have no idea how to actually configure that and that to talk to each other. So
Right.
my plan for this evening, if was to go and look at a Docker tutorial of some description that hopefully, because really I don't actually know what's going on. All I do is go install Docker, run it, yay. But now I need to actually understand a bit. So, however, I imagine watching a tutorial isn't going to
Right.
be
Well,
very
okay. I'll
interesting.
give you the rundown. So, have you actually one sec? One sec. Let me just quickly in the other window check if there's anything which is remotely unique or security breaching. If not, I'll just show you some that I've got, and then we can talk about what happens from there. That one, that one.
I mean, the stuff you were saying before made sense, so I need to see where the compose sort of file is for these, and when they spin up, I imagine it will set up the
Well,
network.
right. So yeah, you'll have so for
But
containers you're authoring, you will have a docker file or whatever it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. 1 second. It is just a Docker file. So for your Lambda thing, because you're containing your own code, you will have a Docker file. Within that Docker file, so let me just quickly load up this Notepad++.
so whatever this is, I guess you're checking is
Yep.
happy to be displayed on my stream. Actually, I can do it in the other window if you want, on the other screen.
No, it's more on my stream. I don't want to start showing stuff which could
Oh,
have
okay.
like user accounts and stuff on
Oh,
it. Because
you start.
I've already done what you're trying to do, not with Amazon bits, but
Okay,
with other
I
bits.
will get your
So
stream up then as well. Let's see.
let me take that bit off there.
Theatre mode.
Uh, yeah, it's all tokenized, so it's not going to do anything too bad there. And let me have a look at the. Is there any other bits?
Kids cracking.
Um, Right, okay, maybe not that one. Right, okay, yeah. So on here, I have a do you see my Docker file?
I do.
Right, okay, so from node 8, so I'm basically saying so if you imagine Docker's layers, yeah? Everything that you do, like this work directory, copy, volume, all of these are commands which are kind of pushed on the layer, right? So node 8 will be a layer. If I was to go to yeah, I agree, whatever. Go on here. There'll be a Docker version 8 for Node. And on there will be no, go away.
Oh no, I thought right. I thought you meant like a Docker node,
No,
not
sorry, like Node.js.
actual Docker. I mean,
Yeah, let me
actual
just
node.
find the repo where I can there we go, the virtual repo. So really all that's happening is I go up to source and there'll be a Docker file here somewhere, probably.
Docker entry point.
Let's go with that's the no, that's gonna be creating the thing. Let me see if it's within one of these Alpine 3 Docker file, right? So this one here is going from Alpine. So that's basically using the default Linux Alpine distribution. So that bit there is basically saying, right, set up Alpine. So you got a Linux distribution, right? Then it goes, right, set the node environments, blah blah blah, and it runs all this stuff here. Yeah, load of bollocks. We don't really care about that. But when we say from node 8, effectively it's running all that stuff you've just seen. It might not be that exact stuff because we don't know what version of node that was. There
So
you saw.
essentially, I'm going to grab a Docker file that is from Amazon
Yeah, exactly.
DynamoDB local.
Well, no. You will. Let's forget that one for now. Just concentrate on the Lambda one. There will probably be a from AWS Lambda whatever, and it'll basically say your working directory is source user source Lambda or whatever, and then within there it tells you copy your source file into wherever. So if you imagine, it will set up the operating system layer, the AWS container stuff for Lambda, and then basically at some point it will go, okay, you need to tell me what I need to run. So, I mean, if you can find out what container your thing will be running on, because it might be a case of that you just get a default Linux distribution, then manually install AWS CLI stuff, and then run your stuff through there. But I doubt it. They'll probably have an out of the box pre-made Docker container where literally you just go, hey, but like on this one. So I know that Node's already going to be installed. So I know that I just go copy my stuff to source apps, copy it there, expose port 80, and then just run npm start. And everything's pre-set up in that environment to just run stuff from user source app. So it's kind of like that'll get you the container for your Lambda stuff. But the other bit, like if we hop over to this Docker Compose here, I apologize if I'm shoving loads of stuff in your face and you're like, what are you on about? But on this one, so this is a Docker Compose. This is for composing multiple services together. So I'm saying services, right? The API, and it's going to go, right, okay, get me the D20 API, which I think is this one. So it's basically going to go, right, that's one service there. And it's going to shove in some variables which are provided by the command line. It's going to output some logs. It's going to tell Trafic, which is another container running on the network elsewhere, which I'm not going to get into. That's kind of like an Nginx where it's a reverse proxy. But that's setting up a load of stuff on there for that, which is cool and good. But also it goes, right, okay, go get the UI, which will be a local one. So it goes, right, the container name's that, and it's found within there. This one, however, the DB, I haven't got a local Docker container for that. I just go get image. So you notice how this is API build, UI build. With this one, it's image. So I'm basically saying, right, okay, go on, get, like that could be Node 8, and I'd just spin up a version of Node 8. It wouldn't be running anything, but it'd be Node 8. So on here, that's going, right, okay, go get Mongo 3.6.19, spin that up, name it that. There's the environment variables. And I'm basically saying the data that I want it to run off is going to be in these shared volumes, which are basically it's linking to directories on my local machine, which already store the data stuff. But that bit there would be your DynamoDB one, because you're not making a local container. Well, sorry, you're not writing a local container to set up DynamoDB. You're using an existing one, and then just probably going to override some environmental variable saying what port it should be on, etc. Like here. So in your bit, you would have two services, one being your Lambda function, which would be your custom Docker file, and the other one would be your DynamoDB with your custom environment. And then you would also have a network here, which would be whatever you call that network. And then they both talk to each other, and it would just work. Does that make some semblance of sense to you?
It's logical.
Okay.
Yes, it makes sense.
Ball move cotton.
Yeah.
So
I'm
if
not
you
going to be able
start,
to recreate that off the top of my head, but let's do
well, no, it's
this.
fine. I can help you through. I mean, these are. I didn't just like randomly wake up one day and just blurt out Docker Compose syntax. It's
don't believe
documented. It's documented online quite a lot. It was quite tricky to embed these like dynamic variables in there. That was a bit of a pain, but other than that, it's all well documented. But this Docker file, you'll find tons of documentation around this. And like I say, the hardest bit for you is going to be to find. Well, actually, let me Google for you.
I think let me Google that for you. I think the problem is going to be with the also magical Lambda one, because the docs for it, as you can see here, I just build it. So I just use the SAM CLI to say, well, build, and then I just use the SAM CLI
you
again
go.
to do a local invocation of it.
So if we look at this one here, so now I create a Docker file. This is a Node version, not the C#, but the thing will probably be the same. So from Amazon / AWS Lambda Node.js, so that's their image. They maintain that, and they've got a Docker file for that somewhere. So they're basically building off that. They're saying, right, okay, copy app.js and package.json, run the install, and off you go. So that if we were to look in the source code for that, that would basically say, right, I'm looking for an app.js. And the moment that you run that app Lambda handler, it's going to go, right, load app.js and do a load of other stuff. So you'll probably have a Amazon AWS Lambda .NET. Let's have a look. .NET.
Where is it? Yeah, emulation image, whatever. I think that's the one that I can't see its full name. God damn it! Tell me your full name.
I don't know. If you go back, is there any way to hover over on the back one?
Oh. Yeah, so Amazon AWS SAM CLI emulation image.NET Core 3.1.
Right, okay, so that there would probably be what your from would be. And then if you were to copy and paste that into Google, you'll probably get a thing like I had where it's saying, oh yeah, you want to do from whatever, and here's the directory where your DLL should go. I mean, it might even not want your DLL. It might not even need your DLL. It might automatically just go. Oh, actually, right. Sorry. Oh yeah, it's .NET Core. Yeah, so it'll probably know to run .NET Build from wherever your source is.
Okay, so this Docker file, where would you advise I create this?
Well, go back to the documentation for a minute. Actually, can you copy and paste the link in Discord for me so I can quickly load it my side and have a quick look?
Yeah, sure.
Because most of the time, I'd be wanting to look at the repo that provides this, and I'm not 100% sure where you find that out on there. Because this is just basically the container, whereas I want to see the actual source for it.
Okay.
Where is it? Oh, there we go. Dev posted. Right. Okay. Let me have a quick look on my side.
I've finished off a pack of Whiteworth's coated treats, yogurt,
nice.
Yogurt coated banana chips.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Spaceballs, I do. Right, so you're saying it wouldn't be from.
Well, the thing is, ultimately, almost every Docker container where you're going to be running code in there, it has the notion built in of where does the code need to be for it to automatically run. So like the Node stuff, it just expects you have an app.js in the root directory, and it goes, right, okay, as long as there's an app.js there, I know how to. I'll take over the rest. So it's just basically working out what they've got there. And the problem is, I can't seem to if I go to this. Where was it? If I go to this on there, I can't seem to find the one for your specific one. I can see the Apvea stuff to build it. Is there a Docker file here? Git.net.
The SAM config files extension is TOML.
Oh, I hate YAML and TOML. Maybe they'll just tell us down here.
Jeez, that was big.
Oh no, that's just the SAM CLI. That's not actually the Docker thing. I don't want that. I want the actual Docker. Right, 1 second. AWS.
Maybe I need to start from scratch and just go, how do I run Lambda stuff in Docker?
Right, what version of .NET are you using? 3.1?
Let me just triple check. Probably. Oh, that's not how you
From
do it.
scratch. Nice.
Yeah, 3.1.
Doesn't tell me. Just tell me. Because I can see it saying the working directory to var task, and then you got the lambda entry point. Right, let me have a look at what lambda entry point does. Oh, that must come from scratch.
Base.
Yeah, maybe this will tell me. Oh, it's .NET though. Because ultimately it's just where you think. Anyway, I'd suggest that's what you want to look for. You want to find the .NET version of this. So, like on if we go back to this one here, for example, like on the Node one, it knows you just need to, if you copy over your app.js, it's gonna just know when you run app handler to go off and do that bit, I imagine. So, because that from whatever Lambda Node.js will set up everything that you need. It's just that last connection of, well, how do I tell the AWS bit how to run my thing? I find the AWS documents are awful.
Yeah.
They're better than bloody Azure.
I'm not 100% sure on that. As a certified Azure person, I cannot.
I would probably say that Azure documents a little bit more garbage.
But they have the two Scots.
It's when something doesn't work, and it turns out that there's this random environment variable hidden in some GitHub issue that was closed 2.5 years ago, and you have to set it to true with a lowercase t in order to get the thing to work. It's like just give over.
I appreciate there will be a level of that, but having used Azure and having used AWS for pretty much the same stuff, I find I lose far more time on AWS stuff. Just trying to
really.
Yeah.
What?
But again, all
Like,
I'm doing is basic provision something, shove it on there, get Octopus deployed to shove it on there. It's not rocket science. But
the thing I find is when you have like things that are deployed in a pipeline, and you may have like 5 or 6 things to Azure or similar to AWS. Like if you pay for like the basic tier shit in AWS, you still get something that's capable. Like, you know, it still has features. But if you're in Azure and you get the cheapy thing, it's just completely gimped. And like they will happily put you on over provisioned hardware that just times out during the deployments.
right.
It's like, oh, this timed out, please redeploy. And it's like, just please stop.
Stop.
Yeah, I don't know about
That's what I found with Azure. Is
But
when you try something on like standard or shared or basic or shared, it's just crap.
It's funny you say that though,
is.
because we had that exact same issue with AWS when we were like, I think it was ClamAV we were trying provision, which is just basically like a noddy antivirus service. And I think we were like, right, we just want the most basic thing we can on AWS, which I think still seemed like it should run it, but it just refused to run, and there was no error whatsoever. It's like, wouldn't run. So we're
Clam
like,
AV.
"Ah, what? Yeah, Clam AV.
Yeah, I know of it, but what were you provision like?
Oh my goodness. I honestly don't know what I can talk about because it was under NDA. But effectively, there was a long process for uh secure documents, shall we say, which needed to be encrypted, antivirus checked. Basically, at the point of upload, it needed to do a load of checks to make sure is this file okay.
Right. You had a
So
virus scanning service.
yeah.
Oh my
Well,
god!
the thing
I
was
would
our
have
security.
just spun up a VM and just gone, bloody yum install clam AV.
Well,
Like, right, there we go.
we did locally on the network, but the problem was
In
because
fact,
they had some
problem
stuff on the
spotted.
cloud, they couldn't communicate with our local network for some bits without incurring a load of downtime. There was an architectural reason for it, but the security advisor basically said, "Yeah, we want to use." Because I'm like, I'm not a security expert. You tell me what you want and I'll sort it out. They went, yeah, we want I gave them some options for like Clam AV, some network based stuff, but most of them required you to copy a file into a directory, and then you might get a log somewhere. I'm like, yeah, realistically you can't put that into a pipeline anywhere. So Clam AV seems to be the most sensible one. If you stream the file over, it goes yes or no, and then off you go. So they went with that one. And it worked fine. It was just when they moved certain parts to the cloud, because of the whole network separation, it was a ball ache to contact it back down in the local intranet. So we were just like, we'll just spin one up in the cloud. But we remember me and Gooch spending like an hour just being like, first of all, I thought it'll be really easy because it's a Docker container. I just want to throw a Docker container at AWS and say, can you just provision this on like a basic EC2 instance? And then, although it said, oh, yeah, you can deploy Docker stuff to AWS easily, we couldn't find for the life of us which one of the, because they always name it silly things as well, which thing it was you actually had to go into to do it. And in the end, we just gave up because we couldn't find it anywhere. And there was conflicting documents, which, like, one was like 3 years behind the other documentation we were looking at, which said, oh, yeah, you need to deploy to this service, which no longer existed. And then there was other updates which would talk about a different like aspect of the service, and we just couldn't get working. So we're like, fine, we'll just provision an EC2 instance on Linux directly, and then manually install Docker and deploy to that. And when we started that, it was like, right, okay, well, let's go with the most basic instance, which was like a micro or something, and that didn't seem to run. And there was no errors. And we're like, oh.
The reason there's probably no errors is that, like, unless you've set up like a swap file, like it probably just completely ran out of puff. It probably didn't have enough
Probably,
RAM.
yeah. But we're trying to get any sort of information. Then we're like, right, okay, well that's goosed. Then we'll try running it on the next one. But eventually we got it running and it worked okay. But it was just like, try to go through, and I've had that several times when I go through documentation and all of it's like out of date, and you're just like, why? Just take it offline. If it's no longer applicable, just bin it. Don't have like these solutions to a problem that are no longer valid, because it's even more confusing than not having a solution at all. I'm not saying Azure's any better there, by the way, because I haven't had to trawl through the Azure documentation. I normally just Google it and I find somebody else who's done something similar.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going into backcountry by spinning up your own like Docker like service, then you get what you deserve.
So don't try and be clever. Just stop it.
You bought this on yourselves.
Yeah.
Right, what am I looking for here? Free
Walking in backcountry.
Untitled Chapter.
Could not connect. Right, this is as far as I got last time.
Oh, right, okay. Let me look at what you've got then.
Right, so what I've done. I mean, this isn't the same docs I was
Right,
looking at last
okay,
time, but
okay. You see that name? Go. Oh, right, that'll be the name. Yeah, right. So the Amazon/DynamoDB local. That's the container which is being used.
Yeah,
So basically, that command
that's what-
saying, "Spawn me a Docker thing with port 8000 exposed on the network." It'll probably give you an error saying the network doesn't exist, right? Yes,
Network.
exactly. Network not found. So you do Docker create network, Dynamo.
Which is the step above.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Look, so this is saying here.
I'm following the instructions out of order.
No, right. Well, yeah.
You can do this, but Docker Compose basically is a more managed way of handling all this.
Yeah, that sounds, the Docker Compose way sounds like the better way to do it.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah,
this
it
is documented.
Yeah, that's fine. Use this. Use this to get it running, and then go. Oh well, actually, I want to try and
Yeah.
run it in Docker
Are you
Compose.
able
Whatever.
to that link to that document that you've got there, Tom? Are you able to send it me, please? Like in
Yeah.
using the power of the internet, so I can have a read through it as well at some
Power
point.
of the
'Cause
internet.
I need to, Danke, because I need to.
Swat up.
I need to swat up as well. I'm with my newfound like motivation.
Yeah. I know. I'll move.
Bold move.
Yeah, that seems okay.
Pays off.
Oh,
Still
Gary
need to
One.
pick.
Gary One has got a job at my place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original
You got-
Gaza, the one who I knew when we were there.
Oh no. Did you? No, you didn't cross paths. No, this like an old friend of mine
Oh,
for
right.
many a moon. He got his first testing job at where we were, and he was made redundant like 3 months later.
Oh no.
Yeah, that sucked. He walked into another job, which was fine, but that's kind of gone by the wayside now. And now he's coming to work with me again, so that'll be fun.
Cool.
But, anyway, yeah, that's still not working. Can't connect. So
Right, well,
it's saying
one second. Right, so you've made your Docker. Let me have a look at what you've done in your console log thing. So, yeah, you've made the Docker network. Yes.
yes,
A response from doing conflict container download. Right, okay. So you've already got a container with that name used. If you do Docker
yes.
run ls, I think it is, or is it Docker ls? Just try Docker ls. Okay, Docker.
less.
Yeah, I can't remember. One second. Unless Kate knows off the top of her head.
Denied.
Oh
that-
my god, I can't. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it says access denied, so that's probably the right command.
Right, sorry. Docker space container space ls.
Docker
Apparently.
container. Container.
Drop.
Container.
Right, well that's garbage. Well, you can also look in your in your thing. You go to your Docker
Is it
view
Docker?
thing on there.
Do you need Docker image list or Docker image ls?
Oh yeah, maybe it's. Oh no, that'll be the actual.
So you've already got one.
Oh yeah, I know I've already got one.
But that's just the images. That's not the actual containers running those images.
Yeah, but it says the container name Dynamo local is already in use by
Yeah,
moved
but that's the container. Yeah, so those bits there, what you're seeing there, those are the running ones. I don't know why I wasn't showing you them before. So if you remove almost all of them.
Yeah, but I can't because it keeps telling me.
Okay, try. What's it say?
Right. So, Docker following conflict.
Okay, well, yeah,
Which one?
you
This
need
is-
to remove
this
the
is
other one first then. That sounds like it's already linked to one. Try going from the top down.
She can't be
Oh.
a such that.
The fact that Docker container ls does not show any running containers, yet this thing seems to
Yeah.
think something's going.
It might be
See,
this is
these
running
are-
under a different user account though.
Shouldn't be.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
Right, I can't get rid of them.
Well, you should be able to stop them if you just stop them. And then
What does cleanup do?
dunno.
Remove?
Yeah, try remove.
Remove. Error. Full course. Okay, so how would you go about removing them then?
Oh,
Or
actually,
stopping
they're
them?
not. They're not. They are stopped because it's got run on there. I don't know. I normally do it through the command line for removing stuff.
if you
Oh, what's this? I can do bins.
Yes, do
Let's
it from
just
there.
bin stuff. Let's do bins.
Right, there we go. Yes. Oh, right. So yeah, you were on the images before then, weren't you? Yes, this makes more sense. Those are the containers. Right. So there's no
Okay.
containers. Now you can run your code on the other one, and it should work
I'm
fine.
just gonna wait for these.
Yeah. And again, it's going to re-download them. Well, some of them.
Yeah, that's fine. I just don't want any possible confusion.
Because they've updated this. Because that used to be separate in what was that app called? That used to be what you were just looking at.
Docker.
Can't remember its name.
Okay, I've still got the network. That's cool and good. So let's
Kitematic. That's what it used to be.
Oh,
It used
yeah.
to be Kitematic. They've bundled it into there.
That's
So if you just keep
copying.
pressing up until you get your what's it called? Yeah, that.
Unable to find image.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go download it.
Oh yeah, okay.
So if you look in
Oh,
your
they're quite
images
big.
on,
It's like 600 meg.
yeah, well, that's why I said to you, it's going to re-download it. You might not want to delete that, but if you wait, that'll download that, and it'll try and get it running. Is the network the same as what you provisioned that? Yeah, so it should run, and you should be okay. And if you go to port 8000, I think it should be good.
Right. So essentially, what this is doing is I'm manually setting up what would be inside a Docker Compose.
Yeah, well, Docker
just
Compose
don't
just
know.
automates this step, really. That's all.
So the issue we've got really is that we just don't know the magic beans we need to throw in what order. Ooh. Oh, that's not what I
Yeah,
was
well, it's
expecting.
mainly the running of your, like, this bit here. This is fairly noddy. You're just running an existing container. There's no problems there. It's just how you tell whatever Lambda AWS .NET thing. Hey, I want you to run this thing. That's the bit. Go back up a minute.
I got a look. What's this? What's this expecting me to do?
That's expecting you to use a NoSQL workbench
Yeah.
to connect it.
But
That's
don't
just the same as your command thing that you run into list of tables, really.
run the API network. So this hasn't really localized items.
Right, so yeah, you see that run API using SAM? That bit there is going to run your code locally outside of a Docker container, I imagine.
No,
So
that creates the that's what creates the other container that was here before, the .NET Core
right,
3
okay.
Lambda stuff. So it does run it in a Docker image container.
Well, maybe
Whatever you
that's all
call
you
it.
need then. That's all you need. It's a bit odd that you have to create a Docker thing through that.
Oh, right. So, okay. Well, no, because because Lambda only exists. It's only there while it's running, isn't it? It's not sitting there.
Well, no, it's still got to have a. It's still got to. It's got to be there, waiting to be run. I mean, it's not like there's no infrastructure around it. It's just waiting for a trigger.
So hopefully then what I'll be able to do is I just need to modify the... So in the README, it says SAM start... No, where is it?
Oh yeah, download.
Invoke. SAM function invoke the hello world function. Yeah, so this is... So I need to call the SAM local evoke, my function, but then tell it to use the local network. Local. Yeah, SAM local. Okay. Oh, so that's going to actually set it up to... I was doing it slightly different. I hate this. This is like a typical tutorial. It's like, oh, hey guys, run
Hey
this command.
guys.
Here's an in-depth instruction on how to use like a nice GUI for NoSQL. And then it's like, and for the actual interesting bit, yeah, just pull this GitHub thing and press run. See ya,
Oh, the
GG.
GitHub thing.
It's like, no, that's the bit we care about. I don't care about this bit in the middle.
Rubbish.
Anyway.
That one.
It's like when I was trying to do stuff on like real-time 3D shadows, like with cookies, like actually building it. It's like, hey guys, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick like the image we're gonna use for the shadows. It's like spent ages trying about it. It's like, yeah, and then we just like use this calculation, and then it's done. I was like, what calculation? You mean the two shaders that do all the work? It's like,
That's it.
can you show me that,
Shader.
please?
Right, so what you want to do is you want to go to Chrome, you want to Google Shadow, and right-click on an image you like, save as, remember this location, it's important. And then it works. Okay, I don't know if that's done or not. It seems to be just hanging. Should I just keep waiting? Oh, there we go. Right, okay, so I now have that thing. Okay, so confirm it's up and running. Let's run this next command. List tables. Ah, yes, tables. Right now I can run a table command. Error occurred. Yes, hey, table already exists.
An error has occurred.
Oh, endpoint URL. Hang on. How's that using a local one? I'm sure I deleted that. Anyway. So I need. Where is it? Endpoint URL.
Oh, it's that one. What an idiot. I've just downloaded a file and I'm like, where is it? And there's just a raw PNG there.
And then I can list tables. Yay. There we go. Okay. This is progress. Creating tables. Whatever. It says local credentials. Again, don't really care. Now, this is the bit I care about. And it's like, yeah. Let me try and see if I can just run. So I want to run Sam. So I just want Sam build. Sam build what though? I need to be in the right place, don't I? Okay, let's run it from there. Sam build. Sam build run. And Sam run. Okay, then I'm going to want to run it. I don't think I need that event. What the hell is that? Oh, that's, yeah. I've butchered that. Doesn't do that no more. Oh, so this is what that tutorial is going into. Some CLI can also be emulated to your applications by using blah, blah, blah to run it on port 3000. Oh, I love you, 3000. Oh, so I can have it just constantly running.
Yeah, well, of course it's going to be constantly running because it's just going to be in a Docker
I know.
container.
I mean, I can have it just respond to a URL rather than just like invocating it. Well, let's try just invocating it first, and then I'll go from there. I think it is still called Hello World as well. It shall always be called Hello World. What? Where's the function angler? I thought it was there. Hello World. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so Hello World, function handler, and that's function handler. Okay, cool. So and then no.
Oh,
I did.
and then
It's the last one that gets me. It's the silence for ages.
and then
Image was not found.
Completely
You know,
off topic question, but you know in CSS when you're doing a background image, when you put in the
Uh-huh.
URL in, do you need a quotation mark around it? Because I'm looking at it now thinking, I'm sure I need a quotation mark around this, but it's going, no, this is fine.
No, I don't think
Just-
so.
Just,
Oh, right,
just
okay.
put like all the code, like just put as many in as you can muster. Just go nuts.
On a backtick,
I usually put like at least 8 in. Just you know, nice round number as well.
put a few in with escape characters as well, just in case. Okay, so that's not worked. The local version of DynamoDB is not running. Okay, that's the problem.
I'm kind of tuned out of your thing, so if you need me to interject or whatever, just let me know and I'll.
Well, I've got as far as invocating my Lambda function, and it's blown up because the local version of DynamoDB is not running. However, I thought
Right, yes. Well, you have spun up a container for that, haven't you?
Yeah.
If you go to your Docker things again, just make sure it's actually running because it had to download it, didn't it?
Oh, there's 2. That seems strange.
But
Although,
ignore that for the moment. Right, just click on your DynamoDB local. Is that running? Go to containers, not images. Containers. Top left, containers. There we go. Right, so
okay.
I was expecting you to move the file dialog out of the way, but it's on my side. Yes, that's running on port. I can't see what port it is, 9,000 or something. So if
8,000.
you look at your other bit, your application or whatever's being run through that other thing, does that require port 8,000 for your DynamoDB stuff?
What? What are you
So
saying?
your other thing, your Lambda's connecting up to DynamoDB, right?
It's apparently.
Yeah, where's the bit
Oh,
of code which connects up to that?
all right. Okay. So I create the client in here, which is just copied code. The port is 8,000 by default.
Okay, and that is the same as. Oh, well, one sec. The IP import, is that your local box there?
Yeah. So localhost.
Yeah, okay, local. Yeah, that
So-
should. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Sorry, I've got you. I haven't got you full screen on the other side because I need to see other
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
But that should be okay for you, I imagine.
Yeah.
We'll do what it says
So-
on the command line. Run a quick list tables on that instance.
Oh, that works. So I
Oh,
did
did it?
that.
All right, okay.
I did it in PowerShell. Got, where is it gone?
One
List tables.
second.
Yes,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
table is there.
Okay, do me a favor. Go back to your container in Kitematic or the Docker UI. Right, and click on. You just click on it. Yeah, just click on that. Right, okay. It should say network somewhere. Just confirm it's got the right network.
Expose map 8,000.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah,
fine.
network.
I can't remember where it says it, but normally it'll tell you what network it's connected to somewhere.
That's a good point.
I assume when you provisioned it, you had the network bit specified, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, the UI's changed a bit. Maybe it's under more actions. I don't know. No, it's none of them.
Push.
Okay, well, let's just
Maybe.
assume it's on the right one. And so if that's right.
Yeah.
So you're running the normal application that's blowing up. Yeah, that's where you were up to.
Yeah. So when I actually try and run this, it blows up because it can't contact.
This is what we'll look at, by the way, for anybody who's wondering. I'll put your thing on while I'm talking to you.
Let's see. Right.
Right, so right. Let me just rewind for a minute. So it's building your container and it's deployed your code to a container, yeah, which is one of those
Yes.
containers you showed me before. But there is no container running because there's nothing in there.
So I think what Sam does is creates it, runs the Lambda function in it, and then destroys it again. I
Oh,
don't
right,
think
okay.
it's running. Although there was another command to make it hang about. So if I just tell it to start instead. So some local start API. So that seems strange. Let's try that. So local API, what's that going to do? Okay, so mounting function to there. Do not need to restart.
Right, I'm going to go back to my stuff while you're trying that.
So I don't know what this is going to do. Oh, internal server error. Nice. Why is there an internal server error? Or if I just hide all of it, just get it to say, hello world. I'll just get to say, hello world.
Hello, world.
Hello world.
You're going to serialize hello world. You might need to put that in single quotes, escape single quotes, or literally just return hello world as a string.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Serialized object might blow up.
Because it's serialized in a string.
Right there. Delete.
String.
It'll probably just go, what is this? What is this?
Oh my god. There you go.
Hello,
Hello.
world.
Hello.
got some extra linguistics going on there.
I wonder if I can just run on this. No, let's do it. Let's carry on as we were.
Do some more main story quest. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to kill that. Kill it, fire. Now I want to do a sound build. Yeah, just sound build. What did seem a bit strange was that it's installed two Docker images.
Well, it'll just
One's
create
like-
an image for each thing that you're doing. So every time that you run your build, it's going to make a new image.
Right.
I imagine that's why I find this a bit odd. I'm not used to this sort of process where it goes, "Hey, I'll create an image for you." Normally, it's a case of just here's the image, just do your stuff on top of that layer.
Yeah. I should tell this. Should I tell this to run on the Docker network? Docker network, what was it called? That's the endpoint URL. Docker network was. Oh, it was just local API network. Some local start API using the local Docker network. Okay. Now, does this say hello to me?
Hello.
Hello, wow. Ooh. Unexpected character line 1, JSON data.
Yeah. Well, I mean, go back to right. Well, your contents application JSON, but it says hello world. Just put that in escaped quotes.
Escape quotes, jeez, how'd you do that?
Well,
What?
you've got a
Escape
quote,
quotes?
and then
Oh,
a
sorry.
backslash, and a quote, and then
Yeah.
at the other end you've got a backslash, a quote, and then a quote. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be actually JSON rather than a H, because
Rather than a H, yeah, it goes, right, I'm expecting JSON. H, what? I mean, a quoted string is technically JSON, so it should be fine. Or should be fine.
I don't know if we need to. I'm guessing I need to stop this. Let's try. I'm guessing I need to build it each time. I don't really know. See, this is not a nice.
That's such a trash bag workflow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It sucks.
Right. You compiled something. Okay, now you need to dick about with Docker for too long.
But do I? That's it. I don't. I mean, I kind of just want to get it working in any means, and it's like, right, I know it can function. Now, how can we make it not an absolute nightmare to work with? I wrote some awesome code today. Got this issue where the solution file is growing exponentially, so it's at like 260 projects now. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, guys, look, I've done some stats. I reckon I can like reduce this by like 30% without too much effort. So they're like, oh, okay, go for it. So I started doing it, and then turns out that there's assembly names in data in JSON blobs in the database. So when I'm like trying to, yeah, so sad times. But what I've ended up doing, which isn't cool, isn't big or clever, is I've got like a for the certain area that this is a problem in. Actually, it's a very generic word. It doesn't matter. Modules. So it's these modules that it loads, and it was like each module has got like 4 projects each, and there's like I don't know, 20 modules or something. So I was like, all these can be merged down. So I've got a module assembly name helper. And what it does is in like the repository, like immediately after it reads the data out, it goes, right, is this assembly name on my hit list for being old? If it is, bin that and replace it with the new one. It's like it's so horrible. But I cannot for the life of me think of a different way to do it without processing all the existing data or there isn't any other way.
It's easier to do it there than to go farting around in the data and then updating it, because that's just danger.
Well, that's it. It's like, yeah, you'd have a batch, like some job to run that could take however long. That has to go pulling out JSON and make sense of it.
Have you changed the other bit, like that actually writes the data so that writes the correct names now?
See, that's smart enough to know. That's smart enough to know. So it actually does go and look and gets the actual assembly and goes, oh, this is what you are. So that's not hard coded. That's not a magic string of any description. So any new ones will be fine. It's just old ones, which are using old namespaces and
I see.
So, but yeah, it's got people worried though.
And the only reason it does that is for deserialization.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, and everyone there hates it, and like no one there is the original people who made the decisions, so they're like, we don't know.
Right. What you need to do is you need to use my my file format.
Yes, what was it? Shovel or something? Hatchet.
No,
Hatchet. That was it. Hatchet.
Yeah, you need to use that. It handles deserializing of types using an actual sensible like whitelist. And the names are short.
That was the whole reason you built it, wasn't it?
Yeah. And also because I hate YAML with every bone in my body.
Yes. 100,000% yes.
100,000.
Do you know what my favorite bit about YAML is? Is that if you have a country code, US is US, GB is Great Britain, ES is Spain, and Norway is false.
Why is Norway false?
Because obviously NO is a bool.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah. I mean, why? Why?
It's like that.
That's someone trying to be clever and to come up with an almost exhaustive English list of true and false and synonyms of true and false.
Yeah, that's someone trying too hard to be cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was doing. Oh, I've just built it and I've ran it again.
And did it work?
Hang on a minute, what's happened there? I'm going to cancel that. I don't know what to do. Right, it did, right. I got it working saying just hello world. So that is good. We know that can work, which makes me think it is just and I've just done a build. So I'm going to see if I can just start it locally without having to rebuild it in its entirety. So if I run this now and it goes hello world, oh, you have to do a SAM build.
Yeah, of course you do.
This sucks.
Is there any workflow to not have to do that? Because that is rubbish.
I really don't know.
Like, is SAM meant for like local dev?
It's precisely what it's for. It's
well,
what does it stand for again?
Serverless application model. Is it meant? I thought it might have been meant for like just having the environment running locally as a bunch of things, as opposed to just actually
driving it.
developing it. Like, how does building applications use the SAM build? Is there like some sort of SAM build watch thing that can like just perform magic?
Well, this is just a readme, so it doesn't.
Each time, don't you?
Okay, so I've built it. Now I will run it again, and it should fail because now it's going to try and talk to this non-existent DynamoDB again. But at least I know it can function. And as we all know, if it functions,
It works.
Hey, there he is.
I think I was telling Kate about that the other day. How
I think it was the other way around, wasn't it? If it works, it functions.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Something. Big quote on the whiteboard from that lasted ages, didn't it?
Yeah, that's good times.
Yeah, it's just like the most profound quote. If it works, it functions. I can't even remember when you said it.
I think it was early on because it just became canon. Just put up somewhere.
Internal server error. Okay, so it's blowing up because it's not running, which it. Right. See why this so hard? Why can't this just work? Just no. Right, let me try. Oh, jeez. Very pink, very fast. Right, let me try that in this terminal in case it's something to do with that. No, that works. It's not because I'm actually telling it to run on that Docker network, is it? And actually that DynamoDB stuff isn't running on whatever Docker network that was chatting about. Let me just try that just in case. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm not viewing this as a way of developing.
Well, the thing is, you haven't used really Docker before, so you're biting off how to use Docker, which is one hurdle. How to use AWS Lambda with Docker, which is another hurdle, and how to combine that with another service, which is a third hurdle. Now, if it was just one of those hurdles, you'd probably be done in a short period of time. I mean, even when I didn't know Docker, to learn Docker, it took me a few weeks of pissing about to actually really understand. Oh, okay, here's how all the bits hook together. We're just kind of giving you a crash course on each individual bit and going, best of luck, mate.
Yeah.
Because, like, if your task here was, I just need to run a C# MVC thing in a container and talk to a MongoDB instance, I'm pretty sure we would have set you up by now. But the main problem is this whole, hey, how do I run my Lambda bit of code?
Oh, it's JS. Of course, it's JS. Jesus Christ.
Well, I think that Amazon have not CloudFormation, but something like that, where you can tell it how to provision your infrastructure in TypeScript or JavaScript. I know much you'd like that.
TypeScript is probably quite nice.
Yeah. Can I get that in writing?
In fact, if you could use F# with like type.
Oh, what you? It's like I thought for a moment we could be on the same page for once, and the world would rejoice, and then you just completely flip the table on me.
F# type providers are just like, just pure awesome. It's like
I remember when we were back at the first place where me and Gooch met. I try not to mention workplaces when I'm on stream, but one of the places that we used to work together, ThoughtWorks had come in, and I quite like ThoughtWorks. And one day, me and one of the chaps from ThoughtWorks, we'd kind of done all the work that needed to be done, and we were like, well, we're not precious about trying to shove more stuff in the sprint, so let's have a piss about. And he was like, oh, why don't we try and make the game of life in F#? And I was like, sure, it sounds like something fun to do. And bear in mind, this was probably like, what, 8-10 years ago or something? Yeah, so
I'm
F
at
sharp was
least.
pretty
Shit.
like yeah, it wasn't that mature at that point. And we just try to find out how to just run the most basic of functions, and we're both just lost. We're just staring at the screen like, why isn't this working? It's just run the fucking function. Just run the function. And I'll work out what to do from there. But oh my god, it was just hysterics because we couldn't get any of it working. And I was like, well, fucking hell, if a guy from ThoughtWorks who was trying to train me can't get it working, I've got no fucking hope.
Hello. And the thing is like it's like, and then you get these people that go, "Oh my god, why are people not using functional like
Yeah, why are they not
functional
using all this
programming?"
great stuff?
This is why. This is why it's
Yeah.
made for people with neck beards, for other people with neck beards. Can't follow it. Like, try, but I can't. And it's not the fact that functional paradigms are lost on me. They're really not. It's the syntax all of a sudden just go, I don't know, let's use the pipe operator everywhere. And parentheses, we'll scattershot them all over the place.
There's so many
How do
different
you get-
paradigms in that, like currying and stuff. I'd never heard of that until I looked at functional stuff.
Well, then when you look at what it is, you go, "Oh right, okay, they've given it a name." You know, it's none of it's like particularly, apart from maybe monads, which I don't understand, and apparently are like
I've
once
heard
you
the
understand
term
them, you can't explain them. So I don't know.
monad.
Yeah, not gonads, monads.
Monad, yeah.
I think we need to create our own library of gonad.
Called
Gonads.
gonad. Why is no
Yeah.
one using our language? Well, it's not really a sell. Can't really tell our tech lead that we're going to start using gonads.
I don't know, this wiki article's a bit too long for just having a peruse there, yeah. Don't know, clue what monads.
Yeah, and it's like, how will my life be easier by using this stuff? You know, that's what I want to know. Like, is it just some like neural like flexing? Like, oh yeah, I can do this now. It's like, no.
Docker network. What is that? Build function inside a container. Skip. Ooh. What is this?
That's what?
This rider is like,
Oh yeah, Ryder knows about containers and stuff.
I just pressed debug instinctively. And it's come up with this configuration for when I'm running this function, which is cool. Cool.
Oh, it knows about Sam. Yeah, it's
Mm.
that's the brains. Cool.
Oh, that GIF, that guy doing like the infinity mirror in his phone.
Oh
girl,
yeah.
I think it was that. I was broken watching that. It
Amazing.
crying. I don't know what it is about it, but it just proper. I was ruined for a good 5 minutes. Stop it. Don't think about it.
Don't break again.
Build logs. I don't think I need any. Let's just apply and see what happens. Oh, specify an input.
Specify input, for goodness sake.
There is no input.
Configuration is still incorrect. Edit. Right. What?
Input. I don't have an input. There isn't one. Like, there is specifically not one. I got rid of it.
Well, you need to specify an input of something.
Well, see, the default thing says, the README says, oh, I'll use this events JSON, which I've deleted and I don't use. And outside of this,
that's not going to work, then, is it?
Well, yeah,
it told me specifically to use this thing. So not only did I get rid of it, I deleted it as well.
So I assume then, from what you said before, when you run the default command it's given you, ignoring that event one, it just runs once and then shuts down.
Yes. if I run it as a server, or a server, that's, I don't know what you would call it, but if I tell it to like answer to a URL, a URI, then it works fine. What is it? Run. So instead of invoking it, I start API, which I guess keeps it running. So if I'd run that, I can hear myself.
You do not need to restart reload SAM CLI while working on your function. Changes will be reflected instantly automatically.
Well, it
What?
lies because I
Is that a
tested that.
lie?
Well, right after this, oh, it's up. We'll test that in a sec, but it's definitely a lie. It lies. Right. So
Oh, right. Well, what? So you change the code and then compile it, and then it doesn't work. It still shows the old stuff.
yeah. Right. So that's what I get. Internal
Right.
server error. And that internal server error is going to be so invalid Lambda response received.
Lambda response must be valid JSON. Yeah, let's have a look at your function again.
Christ. Am I just not?
Go to valid JSON. All right. So serialize object. Body.
So I just want, yeah.
Body.
So I'm just creating a. So what am I even trying to do here? I know what I'll do. I think put
local version of DynamoDB is not running. Oh wait, it says local version of DynamoDB is not running.
That's higher up. That's a different one. That's a previous run. So this might actually be more interesting.
And the response must be valid JSON.
Yeah, so that might not be as bad. I mean, this
the API gateway proxy response, is that body just string then that it expects?
Yeah, because if I pass that a JSON string, then it's fine.
Yeah.
And the body is going to be the response from putting an item async. I mean, this code is copied and pasted to be, modified. So it could be something to do with this, which is why it'd be handy to be able to debug it, really. But the computer says no, because it wants something I can't give it. I wonder if it's running it. I mean, it must have a process. Ooh. Docker desktop.
Oh, hail process.
Shall I try that? I mean, I'm guessing that's probably the Docker desktop app rather than the actual things it's hosting. But yeah, that's not connected. How do I stop? I don't want to detach. That's what I want. Oh, Docker. Oh, Rider CLI process emulator. No, that's going to be. I don't know what that is. They're all crazy. Video.ui? What? Films and TV? Don't know what that is. A Zune video app? What? What is this?
What
Windows
are
app
you doing?
Microsoft Zune. I've just come across a process that's using a Zune player. What is this?
Probably Zune's still alive.
I didn't think
Probably
it was.
a name that's still knocking around.
Yeah.
Code name Zune.
Yeah, Microsoft are like, Zune isn't dead, look. Proof.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to go searching for that. I know. What if I... Actually, what it might be, is it the YAML template? Handler endpoint. Parameters, param1. Oh, so that might be why it needs properties, method get. So I wonder if that... No, that's the environment. Huh. Path, hello. I'm not telling this it needs anything.
You're
So
losing
this is
it.
not...
You're ready to lose it, are you, Gooch?
Yeah. I'm at the point where I've lost to Daddy 8 times.
Yeah, but
I'm just going to turn it off.
This is prime development time. The Gooch. So the JFDI is just coming in.
Well, you had like that event, Jason, you need to pass in. You were just like, I'll just delete it.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah, but I deleted the need to pass it in as well, because what it used
okay,
to. So it shouldn't exist, and it works. We just ran hello world in command.
okay,
Like
that's
command
cool.
line.
So why is Hello World not working now?
Oh, it's not hello world anymore now. It's trying to call DynamoDB.
Okay, so if DynamoDB's failing, then what is?
Well, I don't know because I can't debug it, because now it's saying, oh, sorry, no, that's the right error. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, so DynamoDB is still the issue. And the reason that isn't working is probably because there's no content for it in the response. Actually, it'll be null, won't it? Because it's thrown an exception and just went blur. So actually, it blows up here, and then API gateway can't respond because it's like, well, this response proxy isn't going to be legit. Anyway, okay, so it is still DynamoDB. I have no idea. I don't even know where to look because
Well,
I can't see a Docker network anywhere. It's just
Well, you can do that through
isn't.
the command line, I think. You should be able to check if what Docker networks you've got. I can't remember the commands, you'd have to Google them. But my concern is if you're running on a different user account through your Docker service and your PowerShell, you might not see the same thing that sees. Hmm.
So I'll try and run it. I know, I'll change this to actually go to. Oh, no, not that. What's it? Code. Oh, jeez, it's got a really long name. So I just got the default one. No, it's not that bad actually. AWS serverless app. Oh, it's not on C drive though. So let's try that again. Okay. So now let's stop Sam over here. No, Sam, stop. Bad Sam. Okay. Let's try Sam build. Does Sam build? It does. Okay. And it's building a hello world function. Cool and good. Right, so this is what you've just read, Kate, that should actually just watch. I shouldn't have to do this. What should I?
well, you should. The SAM build is fine, and then if you do SAM local invoke, that looks. Oh, it says mounting.
Yeah.
Boom.
So, right, that's the same error. So let's just use PowerShell because it's all, I can talk to Docker here. Not Docker, sorry, DynamoDB. So let me just run a Docker command. Let's run a list tables command. Right, so endpoints, localhost, blah, blah, blah. So let's make sure that still works. Yes, so DynamoDB is definitely running on localhost 8000. It is just HTTP, isn't it? And not HTTPS, I'm trying. Yes, just HTTP, so that's cool and good.
Error message. The local version of DynamoDB is not running DynamoDB client factory, blah, blah, blah. Right.
Yes,
So how are you connecting? How are you connecting to DynamoDB and your Lambda function then?
So
it says you're using DynamoDB local. That can't be right.
Use local.
Like local would be local, but it isn't. So if you go back to your function, when you're doing this Amazon thing, you create
create client. So
that should be
false.
that should just not be set. Like, but how do you specify the path to it then? How do you specify your DynamoDB instance? in your function. Like you must have to give it a name or an identifier or something. I don't
See,
I don't get how you can just do DynamoDB client.create client and it just it doesn't work magically. It can't do. There must be some sort of.
Right, it's up here. It's just expecting it to be on HTTP localhost 8000. That's all it cares about.
What does this do? DynamoDB client factory. Is it just like a really obtuse way of just typing new DynamoDB client?
Well, it does all this stuff, but yeah, I guess so. What global properties? I don't know. I don't know what half this. I don't know what any of this stuff is. I've not checked. I just copied and pasted it like a boss.
Classic Tom.
I don't trust this code. It's like it's some sort of client factory that will just blow up. Like create client. Use what if you use DynamoDB local is false, what does it do? And if it's true, what does it do?
Right, so if it's true, it does port in use. Port in use. Port will be in use, won't it? What? IP endpoint TCP.
Right, what the fuck is this?
Right,
I don't get it.
Right, I don't care.
Right, let me finish off this line and then I'll have a look at what you're going on about. Sounds partially interesting now.
Can you not just create an Amazon DynamoDB client with whatever config and just return it?
Right. So what gets returned? A new client here, which is this config, which has just an endpoint. It's just that 3 lines of code.
It doesn't do anything.
Let's get rid of that. Let's do. Okay, let's actually just create the client here. Okay, endpoint URL. Let's go.
This is why I love copy pasted code. What does it do? Don't know. Yeah. Don't know.
This is what you get out of bed for, isn't it, in the morning? Copy and pasting.
Code. Where was this code from? I don't know. It was from
Right, let's look at what you're doing then. So what are you up to and what's the problem? Give me a quick rundown.
Hang on. Well, basically, the factory's blowing up, and when I looked, it's doing some crazy stuff. So this is just a factory I pulled off of AWS from AWS. So I would have thought it was okay. However, it seems complete bobbins.
We'll find out. We'll find out soon that it isn't complete bobbins, and then we need to put it all back. Which is why Tom's using version control, and he's you know.
Of course I am.
Wait, so it is running your Lambda function. It's just when that Lambda function attempts to connect to the DynamoDB bit, it's blowing up, saying that it can't connect to whatever.
However, when we went and looked at the client, it was blowing up because it was doing a check to see if the port was already in use. And if it was going, oh my god, it's not running.
Oh, right, so it was trying to spawn in its own DynamoDB then.
Well, I honestly don't know.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Well, essentially, this is all it needs.
Okay.
Even according to the factory, this is so. If all the checks and the stuff the factory was doing was to pass, this is all it would do. Creates a new DDB config with that URL, and then just goes, there you go, client.
Yeah, that seems legit. Yeah.
So let's see.
Actually, blow Windows 1 sec.
Limbo. That's like prime. If this works, it's prime tunnel vision. Timed out after 10 seconds. Well, that's a good start. It timed out. However, I can't debug it, which sucks.
That's a pain then, isn't it?
Hang on, I'm not. That's doing it async. Don't I need to await?
It depends on if it's a custom async or a. Check what it returns because it might be one of those like primitive async rubbish things. And also, your method needs to be marked as async, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does return a task. That's what it was just moaning about. It was
Oh, right,
actually
okay.
it was moaning at me because of lambda. So await expression can be used in a method or lambda
Yeah.
marked.
So put
Oh,
a sync on your method.
oh, then it's gonna have to be
Yeah, that's fine.
task type. Yeah, but I just hope I'm not changing so much that it
Just
doesn't work
blows
anymore.
up, shits the bed.
Jeez, what on earth happened then?
Well, you're doing that. I'm gonna nip over and go and doing some of my stuff.
So you're waiting on it, and then you wanted to return a.
Yeah. So hopefully,
Hmm.
maybe that was it. I've got this huge amount of screen real estate I'm not using here. So this would probably be quite entertaining viewing for people who cared.
You say entertaining. You say entertaining.
Infuriating. Oh, hang on.
What?
What? Oh, function.
It's because it's a task now. Just putting a sync on it or whatever. Or task.value equals response.
There, fixed it. Build successful. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. But it's fine.
This is fine.
This is fine. Oh, you know what I should do? I should get a 3000 series GPU, so I can get the nice background effect stuff, and I should have myself sitting in the "This is fine, dogs" room.
Oh yeah, I've been using NVIDIA broadcast stuff.
I can use it.
There was someone in the office today, and I took the picture of their webcam when they'd just gone to go and get a drink.
Oh, yeah.
Set it as my background, and then when we did stand up, I just I was just waited.
Oh my goodness! Have I got a meme for you?
Oh, Kate, are you in the office? And I was just like, yes, put your name down, loser.
I'm gonna send you something. You need to watch it, Tom. You need to. Yeah, it's in dev. In dev. Have a quick ganders at that. I found this one. You might have already seen it. But,
I've seen it.
Yeah. Have you? Well, Kate might not have seen it. Show it for Kate. Show it for the rest of the world.
I'm watching Home Office.
I'm gonna put this on here.
I can't do it on stream. Yeah, I can.
Oh, yeah, you can.
No, it's not. It's not playing.
Right, shall I do it on mine then? Shall I do it on mine?
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay.
It is Ace.
It is Ace. Let me I can just put it in here. Just put it in here. Okay. Are we all ready? All ready.
It's got a green screen. That is
I know. Oh, it's amazing. Right, go play.
There
we go. Come on, play.
This little cheerful little face of
Yeah.
like,
It's just the wink at the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's loading.
Ah, what are you doing? Don't
fail.
run. Right. Yeah, you see his little face there, and then when he the cheeky smile. What a champ! What an absolute winner! Oh, he's probably killed somebody. Probably like Grand Theft Auto, run someone over. But oh wow, that tickled me in special places this morning. That did.
Martian water accumulating on the legs of the Phoenix Mars lander.
Ooh,
wow!
You lick that to survive, then.
Yeah, lick it. Let's get a lick. It was ice. The warmth of the road made it water. I mean, it's just incredible. Like, you know, they've got people at like JPL and SpaceX and like NASA. Like, they're all like incredibly clever people. Like, basically trying to put the human race on Mars. And we've got Tom trying to say, "Hello, world." You did it.
Oh yeah, that's it, isn't it?
We are almost there.
I don't think we are.
With little Tom.
Hey, I've got two other professionals here as support, and we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, but I'm like a really shit free tier support. I'm only I'm dropping in like every now and again.
I'm like the 2-day support you get when you've just accidentally like bought some software that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And all we got to do is just run the clock down. That's all we got to do.
That's it. That's the mission. Tick that box.
I mean, basically, yeah, I'm just nope out of this at 11 if it's not working. I'm just
Well,
never
right, okay. So, right, I'm helping you. Right, okay. So, have you tried just
Turning it off and back on again.
Start again? Right. Oh my god. So it's is it a networking thing then? Right. It's timed out to 10 seconds, so it's absolutely a network thing. It can't connect to HTTP localhost 8000.
apparently.
Which makes me think it's not on the network when it's created.
Yeah.
It's absolutely can't. Is there a way to list, like show that particular network that you created in Docker and it show you where
Well,
all
that's
the
the thing.
what all
He's
the
not creating
volumes
it,
are
is
or
he? It's creating it for him. He's creating the image, but then the image is being spun up outside of his control, to my knowledge, from the
Yeah,
tidbits
whatever.
that he was
So
saying.
you must have to define then what the
Oh, he does
what
say
the-
Docker
the
network
root
there, yeah.
here. So here I can tell it. Well, let's try. Actually, let's try that now. Fix the client.
What do you mean you can tell it?
Because right, I was doing this before and it was still blown up saying it doesn't exist. But I removed.
Yeah, you should be able to do a Docker space network space ls and get all things, all networks.
Hang on, where's that?
That's going to mean another PowerShell window.
No, that's my window. God, where am I looking?
Where's that gone?
Right.
Mount function.
Mounting hello function at
yeah, that's fine.
0 or 5000. Hello.
Internal server error with no such file or
No. Runtime exited. It all went bank. Unhandled exception. Right. This is just noise. Like,
yeah.
What
is that?
Reply stream is not available.
Runtime. Yeah, that's all. Oh, hang on. What's all this? What's all this crap?
Right.
We'll go to the start. Go to the execution bit.
Okay, so
it's mounting hello world.
Yeah.
Could not find hello world deps JSON. This file should be present at the root of the deployment package. Bang.
There we go.
Dependencies.
Bang. And everything just went bang.
Yeah.
Why is right? Deps not
Why?
Deep dive into .NET Core primitives.
Why?
Have to deep dive into .NET Core primitives.
Why, pray tell, will this not work? I love the fact that when something goes wrong, it just passively aggressively lists a stack trace for stuff you have no control over.
Yeah.
And it's just like, look at all this stuff that's fucked.
Yeah. Enjoy that. King Goose. King Goose. Enjoy it. Going.
I got to level 55, but I think I'm going to have to go bed. Or maybe I'm going to make myself a hot drink, and then I'm just going to watch this meme machine of someone trying to get this thing working.
I think that's probably where the win's going to come from.
I think that's where the win's going to be. Yeah. Right. Won't be a second.
This is
Avatar.
See, right. All I'm trying to do is talk to a DynamoDB database locally using Lambda. And
well, no, you're not. You're trying to do that through Docker.
Yeah, because that's the way you're meant to do it.
Well, no, I'll you could run your local thing against a local DynamoDB without having.
Well, I say I can't with absolute confidence. The way the docs tell you to run Lambda functions locally is using SAM, which by default goes and runs it in Docker. So that's how it's presented to you
Hmm.
when you follow the standard docs. And then the error I'm getting straight away, the first, at this point in this effort, the first, the top result is a deep dive into .NET Core primitives. I shouldn't be going anywhere near such an article for something so simple.
It's just really frustrating for you because it's making you. It's because it's dynamically making the image for the container on the fly. It's like why you got to be like that?
Yeah, I wonder if I can just not use. I just imagine it's going to be a much bigger nightmare to not, to actually set it up outside of AWS's SAM CLI. I can't see that being easier. Well, maybe it could have been working by now, given the nearly 2 hours we've spent making very little progress. No, that's a lie. We've got over 2 hurdles. Right, mounting there. You can now browse there. You only need to restart CLI.
Don't think of it. Don't think of it in terms of like time wasted. Just think of it in terms of like time you'll never get back.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Where the hell has that deps JSON file gone? You should get that when you actually build the thing.
Yeah, that's hard to imagine.
Like, what has actually gone wrong?
Does not exist. Let's do that. Scaffolding error. No.
Because that'll probably be like you telling it, "Hey, do you need Cognito? Do you need S3? Do you need all these other gubbins?"
Right, let's check it's not. It isn't there, is it?
Or is this a total herring? I don't know.
At this point, it's the only lead you've got to follow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never said that before, which makes you think it's a red herring. Actually, right, shall I try and get it? Let me just do the hello
How
world
many
version.
different ways are you running this? Are you literally just using the SAM, like whatever the hell command it is? The SAM
Yes.
local start API. Is that the way you've always been running this? Because you've been using SAM local invoke as well, which
There's been 2 different ways I've been running it. And I can't remember which way worked with hello world.
because you need like SAM local start API with the network. That must be the correct way of doing it, because that way you're gonna get your
the
Dynamo
network.
DB stuff as well.
Seems,
right?
yeah, seems legit. Yeah, I agree. Why can't I cancel? Why can't I stop? What? I can't
Try
type.
control pause break.
Oh, hang on. Oh, it just took a while.
Oh.
Okay, so.
Completely combusted.
Right, I am going to run build, although it says I don't need to. But we can test that now. Build successful. Okay, so now I can run local. So I'm going to start API using the Docker network that I configured earlier, which is way up top, but it's definitely there. Okay, so I'll start that. No explosion. Cool and good. Let's go to our friendly neighborhood browser window and try hitting it. So this, in theory, may return hello world, or just hello. Did that? What? Start request, end request, duration, build duration. Oh no, it's in the browser window. Right, okay, so that works. So it's lying. That's a red herring. That missing dependencies, which is fine. So world works. Nice. Nice. So what if I leave world in? and just try and get it to create the no, just creating the client isn't going to work. Load table. Let's see what that does. Because what does that do? That's not going to do anything until you actually call it, is it? So let's even though not doing anything with the response, let's see if it's blowing up somewhere else. I don't know. Right, so according to the stuff before, it said you shouldn't need to build again. So let's try that out. If this just comes back and says world, we know it lies.
You definitely did a build.
Did you do a build,
yeah,
Tom?
I probably need
Come
to
on.
build in some description, don't I? Okay. Does this lie?
I feel like watching that guy again with his
Yeah.
cheeky grin.
Yeah, that's lied. It's
No, that's right. Just try it again.
alright. I'll try it again. Yeah, mounting finished. Okay, so I need to stop it. I need to build it. This is so rubbish.
I just want to point out, Docker's not the problem here.
No, it's
Docker's
not
been
Docker.
perfectly sane.
So let's start it on the local network again. It's running. Let's hit hello. And now, will I get the same explosion? Is that just returned world? No, it's still thinking about it. It should return. Lambda response must be valid JSON. No response. Oh, it timed out. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's network. It's gotta be. Which isn't a surprise, I
Right.
suppose.
So I'm confused. Why did one work?
Sorry? Oh, the first one worked because I commented out anything to do with it talking
Oh, I didn't notice you commented. Right. So you commented out all the code that does something.
Yeah, basically.
Right. Are you able to just verify that when you've done a SAM start local API, blah, 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 you do a Docker command to see what the fuck it's actually created?
Okay.
Because
I'm just gonna wait
you
for this.
need to allow containers to, like, I didn't think they could just talk willy-nilly to each other.
They can do if they're not on a network, I think.
Okay, well, let's try that. So I just built that. Yeah. Right, so I'm telling it here
Also,
to run.
localhost doesn't mean anything. You would need an alias, don't you?
What?
Localhost isn't right, is it?
Hey, it might be 127.0.0.1.
Yeah, but
Well, right, if I...
Well,
Oh, do you mean...
Well, that's inside the container. That's not going to point to the right thing, is it?
Right, so my local machine, I can hit DynamoDB, or is
You're
it list
right.
tables?
It's 100% right. That's going to be the that's going to be the container. Oh God, how do you resolve the container name?
You need a name. You need a name.
Yeah. There
right?
should be a DNS entry for it on the Docker
Okay,
network.
so I'll start it.
Right, it's probably
Now,
going to be called whatever the. You need to find this network like list of
okay.
what's actually running and what's being exposed.
Docker... Is it Docker container ls? Okay, so we've got DynamoDB. But that's it.
Right.
Oh
so
wait, yeah, they
Dynamo
reference each other using
local.
the container name.
Just use dynamo-local as the at the end. Names dynamo-local. Or no, dynamo-local.
So what for that?
Yeah.
For the
Yeah, so the container name is going to be what the actual
Okay. That does make sense. Because it's not going to know what local is it? Okay, so that built. So now I've got to cancel this somehow. There we go. Oh, that's quicker than usual. Now I need to build it again.
Is it gonna build? Is it gonna work?
Build.
It's gonna
I
function.
didn't run. Wait, is that waiting? It's waiting.
Mounting.
It's mounting. It's
Response
done
received.
something else.
Oh no, errors.
No, cannot do operation on a non-existent table. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a
Get
table.
signal.
Main screen turn on. That was it all along. It was just that you silly local host. Didn't even think of that.
Right, so
These guys gave you another problem there,
it
Cody.
does. Oh, table names. Task record. What's it looking for?
Right, what
I don't know.
the hell did I
See
get
that
it to?
down.
That, yeah. Moving this
Where
diagram.
did you see a resource not found? Where did you see that error? Oh, non-existent table. Right, table task record.
Wow.
And what did I?
You're cooking with Firehouse. See, if you were using version control, Gooch, you'd probably commit at this point, right? That's probably where I'd commit. Would you commit here, Kate?
It's not working yet.
No, but this is
But yeah.
progress for you.
It is. Although it says there's no table, but there is.
Run.
Although actually, should I be able to run?
Is it 100% agree?
No, because this won't work, will it? Because this isn't running inside the
Why have you changed that now?
I just want to see if it works. I don't know.
No.
It
No.
changed.
Okay. I didn't think it would. Yeah. I just wanted to.
Because
Explosion. Okay, that does. So why can't it load table task record when that I need to check.
Is that like AWS DynamoDB list tables?
Yeah.
Can't see the text. Okay, then you got endpoint URL. Well, localhost 8000, is that your local DynamoDB?
No, because I deleted
Still?
that. Let me check.
Okay,
though.
so that 8000 should be the Docker container that you've exposed on port 8000.
Yeah, because if the code is still here, which I think it is, Docker run.
Well,
yes, that's setting up.
Right.
DynamoDB
Okay.
to run on 8000.
Yeah. Right. I don't know the first thing about Docker. Sorry, Docker. Yeah, that's probably about right as well. They're DynamoDB. So, like,
No, but that doc. Oh, I see what you mean.
Like, what does it literally says that table doesn't exist? Like,
Yeah.
well,
So it's
it's
going.
not line, is it? Table.load table, table name, task record. Capital
Table
T,
names.
capital R, task record.
Oh,
Right. Is there any records in
No. But I'm trying to
like-
put not.
Oh. Have you got like some sort of? Have you got like one? What the hell is it? Data. Oh God. Have you got all products? Can you use DataGrit to actually like do stuff?
I
Or
mentioned
use, like,
DataGrit to him earlier on, but it doesn't support DynamoDB.
Oh God, of course it doesn't. Can you actually just go into like some sort of like smooth brain GUI and just create a record? In that?
yeah, smooth brain GUI.
Like- I haven't got any installed. I've got Azure SQL Server, which I can get rid of because, sorry, Azure Data Studio.
No, I'm not on about Azure SQL Server. Have you got a way to just like you're
No.
just using DynamoDB because you've got all the tools to use it, right?
No.
Okay,
No.
great.
I'm just using it because it's AWS.
Can you hang on? You should be able to go into the AWS console and then just click around frantically and then edit the table from within there. I'm sure it's got some sort of.
It's local. It's not remote.
Oh my god! Of course.
Oh god!
Right. Okay. Of course. Yeah. Because I don't know. You're on your own. If you go onto that website, google.com, and then go, I don't know, DynamoDB add record to table, writing data to a table.
DynamoDB.
Hang on a minute. You can just use SQL.
Can
What?
Yeah.
You can just write SQL. Like just insert whatever the fuck
There we
values.
go. Insert into
play.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to just paste that.
So why the hell does DataGrid not support DynamoDB? Like literally all it needs is some sort of connector or whatever the Java parlance is for it, and then you're done.
Oh, DataGrid.
Right,
Is it
it's
what, the
right. So DataGrid supports like MongoDB, great, and
Yeah.
then data source.
There is talk on the because I posted an issue thing on there where it said, "Hey, here's what we want to put in there. We want to put DynamoDB stuff in." It just wasn't done.
Why wouldn't it be there? What the hell's green plum?
I don't know. It's not
Snowflake.
DynamoDB, is it?
Vertica. It's got all these like weird things.
Yeah, but it hasn't got Cosmos on there. Cosmos is a similar sort of offering where it's a multi-type.
Yeah, but at least Microsoft provide a Cosmos like GUI thingy that you can
you've
use
got
and
the
connect.
Azure data store studio.
And
Yeah, this thing.
Yeah.
I can uninstall.
Right. Oh, God. So how the fuck can you use it? There must be some way. Have you got LinkPad or something like that? Have you got some way of actually being able to talk to this thing?
Oh well, I just run commands, so I can probably.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
The
actually,
problem is none of the commands at the moment work.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking for something that just reduces some of the effort.
No SQL workbench for DynamoDB.
Using the NoSQL workbench. There is one,
Yeah.
it's
I
there.
literally just typed into Google DynamoDB GUI and the first match.
Download NoSQL workbench. Here's your link.
Oh, right.
Done.
Okay. Fine.
You absolute gibbon.
Well, I shouldn't have to have a GUI for it.
Well,
I mean, you don't have
just
to.
need
Why
to
you?
be able to verify that stuff's not combusted at the moment. So
I mean, why are you coding in an IDE? You could just use Notepad.
That's stupid.
Oh wow.
Right, I can just put items.
no, you could, but
Just
I don't think
put
you should.
items, Tom.
Okay, fine.
There's a link in Gooch chat, Graphic chat. Why did I say Graphic chat?
Yeah.
Oh, find it. Graphic General.
No,
What?
in
No.
in stream chat. Doesn't matter.
Oh.
I'll put it in
you
dev
go
as
there.
well. By the time you found it,
I found it now. Save file.
Found it.
Yeah. Oh God, Pete. Why are you being so unhelpful to him? Like he's there floundering.
Right. Hang on a minute. I'm going to chalk one victory up to the actual host name of the DynamoDB.
That's what I'm going to throw Visual Studio out of a window in a minute. It's like, why? In what land does it possibly think that when you're debugging, Control and S should try and save as and try and save as another file? It's like, for God's sake, it's the same damn file. Just save it. Just save it.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what my favorite Visual Studio dialogue is? Oh, your build didn't work. Do you want to just run what you had previously?
Do you want to run the one that hasn't got any changes?
No.
Cheers, buddy. Yeah, thanks.
Why would I want to do that?
Why would you just run what I had previously? You know what's even funnier is when you press yes, but then make sure it doesn't show that prompt again.
Oh, you never know what. It's like not Pavlov's dog. The other Schrodinger's cat. Am I reading the newest or the oldest? Right.
It's like the ultimate power move. This is how I dev.
If my code doesn't work, it's fine.
I mean, you're trailblazing now, Gooch. I mean, by tomorrow, You'll be a Docker expert,
Yeah, I mean,
having
just
not
think
used the
of all
Docker
the-
bit.
just think of all this like experience that you're gaining.
Oh, the wealth
It's
of
like,
it.
you know, like people say that you don't know a technology until when someone asks you about it, you spend half an hour
Yeah.
shitting all over it.
And for anybody
Like-
who's watching, wonders what we're on, this is Gooch coding on his thing. I just haven't got enough space for my screen and his screen on at once. So he's floundering there with AWS and
I made
other.
this.
Yeah, I made this.
I
I made
I
it.
mean,
I like that meme. Have you seen the one which is quite often used for graphics cards or whatever, where it's like, you made this, and they hand it to somebody and they just kind of go, I made
made
this.
I made this.
That's amazing. I love that one. Ah, I want to look at the cheeky guy doing his Zoom meeting in the car again, but I want to no focus, concentrate. Right,
Stay on target.
yeah.
Stay on
what-
target.
I can't remember what issue did I pick up. Picked up an issue.
I can't create new data. I can't work
There
out
we
how to use this. What did it want me to do?
World class. That was it.
Get started with a database service. Yeah. Okay. Create new data model. What is
No,
this?
just like, can you just like connect to something?
I would like to. Getting
No
started.
SQL.
Creating your first model. You can start with one of the samples below. No. Import. What?
Well, this is just weird. Can you not just connect to something?
No. What is this? Oh, add
Oh yeah,
connection.
add connection.
Oh,
Hang on.
Whatever.
Connection
Oh, this
name.
is just ass. DB local.
Where?
The top.
just keep saying local.
top.
Line.
Oh, right. Okay. I see.
Local. Tom, local.
Local.
I'm just gonna keep shouting at you like an English person would to someone in Spain.
Yeah. Parlez-vous Anglais?
Yeah. Where is the fucking hub?
No table chosen. How do I
Oh, let me just
choose
copy
a
all this
table
bullshit.
on the drop-down menu? Table. No tables. Well, that sucks.
Right.
Default. No.
I need that.
It's not default. It's whatever your new connection is.
Oh my god.
I
Let
need
me go
that.
back to.
Do need that. Do need
Do I need
that.
to refresh it? Is that finished refreshing? It still looks.
Do I need to pay attention at this point, or is this all rhetorical? I feel that it's rhetorical.
We're at a point now where Tom has a connection. Like, just can you remove that default one, or can you like?
No, that's like.
Okay, can you?
Right, let
I'm
me
just
try
trying to
that.
verify now. Like this Dynamo like DB instance that you've got is like strictly legit. Port 8000 connect.
I don't need the world in there.
Okay.
Don't need it.
If you go in and change it to port 8001, does it still like to come with the same bullshit thing where it just like goes, yeah, that's fine?
Let's create a new one.
No, just edit that one.
I don't know how.
Oh,
Local.
just change it to 8001, and then it should say no.
Oh,
You didn't
that's
say
not.
that right. Okay, right. So it does work. Okay, so local's fine.
Maybe it's-
Tables, you have no tables.
Maybe it's actually
Why
legit.
you got no tables?
Well, I have if I list tables on it. So can I do?
Right. Well, if you try and create a table and just call it something like TED, and then list tables using the CLI, does it actually show your table?
Let me see if it wasn't well formatted. What is it, boss? I don't know what this is actually.
Well,
I know what you are.
what's that?
Oh. So I can't create a table here.
Probably not in that list of operations.
Party QL.
Jesus.
generate code. Delete
This
class.
is just awful. Just can you leave this, because it's just making my head hurt. Like, what has Amazon done? Why have they made this so complicated?
Yeah. Let me see what party QL is. Let's do party.
No,
Q-
no, no,
Oh.
no, no.
Is he charging AFDI another way now?
No.
Classic Tom. That's he's like, I don't want to learn
It's
more. I
not
want to.
called Party QL. It's not called Party QL.
It is. But
Not with a Y.
running, testing, just, you know.
I think I'm going to start. I'm going to develop a nosebleed. Just Party QL create table, like, or Cosmos DB create table, or something.
Create table. Okay.
I don't trust this thing, to be quite honest.
Whoa. Whoa.
What is
Damning.
this? Querying heterogeneous and schemaless
Right.
data.
AWS Dynamo DB list tables. What does that do? The following list tables, blah, 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 associated with the current account and endpoint. Table names, task record. Localhost 8000. Tables. No tables found. Can you go to... That's not going to work.
No, party
That's not
QL.
Right. Can you go... Right, you know, on the left-hand side it says Amazon Dynamo DB.
Yeah.
What does this do? Nothing. What about visualizer? Left-hand side? No. Data model. What's data modeler on the left? Select model. There's no model.
Well, that's why it wants me to create a new data model here, but it's like, the hell even?
Get started with a NoSQL workbench by creating your first data model. Just create one. Just call it. I don't know, Trevor or something. I don't know.
Trevor. Oh, amazing.
Just create. Right. Can you
Visualize the data model. No tables. Create new table. What?
Yeah, but this isn't linked. This isn't linked to anything, is it? This is just like YOLO. It's not. You haven't picked an actual persistence thing anywhere.
But this is the type of stuff that I had to set to the primary key.
Yeah, but like you've not picked anywhere and said I am using this instance.
No.
Like I don't understand what the hell this is doing. Like, is it actually? Oh, commit. Oh, commit. It says at the bottom, commit to Amazon Dynamo DB. What does that do?
Oh, it'll actually create it.
Yeah, just like press it. See what it does.
I don't want to create stuff.
Yeah, no, just press the button.
But my credentials.
Press the button, Tom. Press the button.
No.
Press the button, Lebowski.
Oh, cool.
Right, and then it asks for another connection. What?
Setting up. Whatever. Let's just connection 3.
Open. Table 1 is there.
Table 1.
Right. If you go into the stat, yeah. And then delete, and then just completely delete the command that would have done what you needed it to do that's directly above. That's wrong. It needs to be localhost.
Oh, yeah. Right, if I actually create that table, will it work? Shouldn't.
I mean,
I'm not
Let's
paying
try it,
attention. I'm going to say yes. 100% yes, it's going to work.
Alright, I'm going to try it just because. Right, so table name.
I really don't trust it. It doesn't even seem that this CLI is even giving you data that looks even remotely like what this workbench is telling you.
No.
I've never used it, but it just seems completely odd.
It just seems backwards, doesn't it? So what did I?
Well,
Let's find
I
model.
mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't help that that this workbench tries to blind you with science by just being so if you're using a normal tool that does stuff like this, the very first thing you do is connect to a data source. But this thing seems to just not actually care, which great.
Okay, so I've created this thing now somewhere. Don't even know where.
Yeah.
Task record on data model task record, which doesn't exist as far as this guy is concerned. I mean, that's the original one, so that's a bit of a doesn't really make sense. But so if I try now and start that using the local network, this shouldn't work. No, that's the same error. Can't do operation from non-existent table. I'd rather that than it magically work. I'm done. But
Wow, well done.
that is progress. No, I don't mean I'm done. I'm gonna uninstall Windows and just.
Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping that's where we're at now.
It's. I don't know.
No SQL workbench. What the fuck is that?
Let's uninstall that because it is complete nonsense.
It's dog shit.
260 meg, that is.
Yeah.
260 meg of pure awesomeness. I don't know what your problem is.
It's just so backwards. It's like, oh, here you go. First thing you need to do is create a new database. No. Anyway. So
there is a little tutorial about using DynamoDB local and then using the NoSQL workbench to actually do what you've just done, where you commit the data model to DynamoDB, and then you do AWS DynamoDB list tables, and then it shows you the table that you've just created. It should work. I don't.
There's something not right.
Yeah,
something
there is
strange
something
in
not
the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You get caught?
There's something strange in the neighborhood.
The MCA. It's not a laughing matter.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean,
I don't know.
code.
I don't know how you created that table to start with.
Oh, that table is created by this command. AWS DynamoDB create table.
Just wheels this one out. Okay.
And that's not used. That's just literally calling DynamoDB create table. And then to check that it was created, that's why I was sure to run the localhost 8000, because that's what this guy is set up to run
I'm
against.
just muting you
port
for a minute.
8000.
I'll pop back in a minute.
Okay. So we made some progress, kind of. Well, yeah, a little. So turns out the table that I'd created, because I'd created it without a endpoint URL parameter, it had actually created it in AWS. So
Nice.
that's why I could see the table. However, I also had one created against my local Docker instance. So the table did exist locally as well. We deleted that, started fresh, created ran the command again. So I think I've got it here. No. Okay, I don't have it here. Anyway, what is it? AWS.
Do you want to do something funny, Gooch? It's funny but also crushing at the same time. So I muted you to basically just give a quick rundown as to where I am, so that if I do end up putting this together as a list of videos, they'll know
Yeah.
what the fuck I've been doing. But I've just realised after waffling on for probably about 5 minutes that I think I was muted for that entire time on OBS. So it's like loads of mouse movement going. What the fuck's this guy on about? The amazeballs.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Special.
And so I'm gonna mute you again, Andrea. Quickly do it again. Just quick rundown, and then I'll put you guys back on. So AFK for a sec. Oh my god. Right. So I don't know if it would. I'm not gonna go back in time, but let's assume it didn't. So blah blah blah. We've got these bits here. That's the framework. Cool. We've got the game bits. That's cool. But we've transitioned from a game bootstrap now. Yeah, we're splitting out the world stuff because before that was all in there. I was mentioning that we're probably going to bin that off at some point and move over to ECSRX because that's going to provide systems out the box which will run with RX. That's cool and good. We can put that in the bin and we can basically build that. And also, ECSRX works in Monogame or Unity. So when we go to port over to that layer, when we bin off the web view and go, well, actually, we want a real game view, we can easily just port into that. The characters in the units and stuff like this, we're probably going to replace these with OpenRPG, wherever that was a minute ago. So we'll replace all that because that already has the notion of effects and other bits. So rather than us hand rolling effects within here, we may as well just use that library and just pull it all in. And then the unit will be built off that. And yeah, I think that was pretty much at the high level all I was talking about. And then I was basically saying that I'm not too sure in this game. I'm not sure from a design perspective because I just I saw some of these posts on Reddit. I thought, oh, that sounds like a cool idea. So I haven't really thought through the actual game design too much. I just thought I want a grid and people fight. I need to have movement in there. I need to have the notion of attacking in a direction and whether people can attack and stuff like that. At the moment, they just attack a random person on the other side. So as you see, the red ones are the bad ones, the green ones are the good ones. So that all needs to be done, and then I'll decide. Well, should they constantly be moving up? Should this be like an auto scrolling thing as well? So they got to keep moving up and defeating things and keep pushing on, or whether it's a case of defeat everything in the level, then the level restarts and you go up another floor. I don't know. We'll get into that another day. But anyway, the main the main crux of me moving the mouse around before thinking I was talking when I wasn't was to say a big chunk of what we've done so far for the unit stuff is basically going to get augmented with OpenRPG, and then when we come to do the task here around adding cards with effects, so that we can apply cards to units to buff them, we'll be just building off the effects which come with OpenRPG. So yeah, that's that. Now I'll unmute them again. Done. Done. Done.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Cannot do operations on a non-existent Dynamo local. All things fail. The problem is that the JavaScript console and your app use different profiles, and therefore DynamoDB local will create separate database files for them by using the shared DB flag when starting the local DynamoDB.
That's so
A
nice of
single
it.
database file will be shared for all clients. What?
What the hell is that?
By using the shared DB flag when starting the local DynamoDB, a single database file will be shared for all clients. So basically, every time a client connects to DynamoDB, it's isolated.
That's
What?
that can't be right.
That can't be right.
There we go. That's a great
Right.
issue.
No, the issue is that technology.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Right.
I think that's it. I
Okay.
think
Let's try that.
what you need to do, Tom,
Yeah.
What you need to do is really quick. I'm going to paste this into dev, right?
Okay.
So
I need to
like,
stop
look
my
at that.
existing
Look at
server,
that.
though, don't I?
You need to do dash shared DB then possibly.
Fish from that, have you?
Jar. What's this? What's this jar?
You've
Right.
put
Okay.
it upstairs before.
Well, I mean, I'm
Hi-
looking at something that's a few years old. So I'm thinking
I'll
that
try.
might be legit.
Yeah, I'll try
Don't
hyphen.
just copy paste the whole thing. Just
No, I'm
use
not
the
going
dash.
to. Yeah.
Try the dash shared DB thing.
No, shared DB.
It's 3 years old. This, so it might be wrong.
Right. So I'll need to stop the one that's running. No, I'll just delete it. It recreated itself fast enough. Okay, where was it?
Right,
There.
you need to do So I think it's still current. You need to do dash shared DB.
But this is Docker. So I'm share. If I'm creating a
You need
table,
to use shared DB. In memory means that it doesn't write anything to the disk, which whatever. But I think shared DB is your important one.
Where is the new?
Get
Oh, there we go. I swear Visual Studio hides the NuGet. You know, on Rider, you just like, you got like the little NuGet Explorer thing, haven't you? But on this, it's like, just show me NuGet.
Actually pronounced Nougat.
NuGet. Gonna explode.
Not create Java Virtual Engine.
Could not create Java virtual machine. Error. A program unrecognized option. Share DB. Okay.
Hang on. Every other one is hyphen. Let me try hyphen.
Oh my
Hyphen, that's it. Keep adding the hyphens.
Yeah.
Go wrong.
Hey, you've used NPM, haven't you?
Me? No, I've never used NPM. Wouldn't know what you want about.
So how do you pass parameters into
I'm just going to mute you guys again. Back in a sec.
Okay.
So for anybody who's wondering, so the notion of OpenRPG is effectively it's like a layered pre-made models for stuff. So if we quickly nip over here again, so we've got the kind of notion of common components, so requirements, effects, modifications, and on top of that we've got a character, an iClass, an iRace template. So basically we just kind of build all these things up. There is some logic within here. So for example, if we go to damages and attacks and components, you can actually like generate attacks and actually generate attacks, process attacks, do attacks on people, and stuff. So it's got some functionality there, but primarily it's more building blocks of this is how we represent a damage. This is how we represent an attack. This is how we represent an item, for example. That's a sword. So you'd make an item template for a sword, and you go, oh, that's a sword. It's a junk quality. There's a super sword, which has damage. Because it goes, oh, here's an item, which is a sword, and you give it an asset code, which in Unity you'd link to a 3D model or a UI for stuff. And you give it some requirements if it can only be used by certain things. You give it some effects, which are, it does some pure damage of 765. There you go, and it's epic quality. Where do I set that? Oh, there you go, epic quality. So anyway, the point is that there's a load of stuff here, and look, like you can just go, oh, give me a male elf, fighter, give me a name, generate. There we go. So a load of this stuff is just going to come for free out the box, and you ever think, well, why didn't I do this to start with? And if I would have started off with this, a lot of people who were going, well, hey, I thought we were starting from scratch on stuff. Well, we were prototyping, but we've got past the prototype stage for the character bit now. We know, well, actually, we are going to need something beefier. So there's other stuff in here to do with there's loads of stuff in there, but ultimately the main components are items, combat, characters, and quests. So we'll show a basic quest there. Yes, there you go. An NPC needs to collect 5 health potions. There's the health potion, and there's your rewards. And again, it's just these are all simple data models. So the whole idea is you design. There's also a actually I can't show it because there's not a screenshot on the repo, which is stupid. Which I should have put one there. But anyway, there's an editor for this which comes out of the box where you can basically just generate this sort of stuff. So you can make these in a GUI, but effectively behind the scenes, you make a quest with all these bits in. So you say it's an objective item. It's because you can have multiple objectives, and it requires a healing potion, and it requires 5 of them. So it knows, and on the view layer, it just translates this for you. So all this demo thing is like custom views, much like what we're doing in here. But this was made as a demo app because a friend of mine wanted to use it. So I was like, well, look, I'll put together some docs in form of this thing. Anyway, that's what we're about to plug in. And the reason I mentioned all that is because if I go back to here, these are all a little bit. So you could just put in OpenRPG Core if you wanted to. But I want the notion of items. I want actually, I want the data one as well. Actually, do I? Yeah, so let's pull that in. Now, fantasy comes with a load of default like notions, so like races, damage types. So, for example, if you're doing a sci-fi game, you might have ion, physical, ballistic, electric. I don't know, different types of ammunition and ways to attack. Whereas, or phaser or something. Whereas in RPG, it's like fire, ice, lightning, light, dark, stab, melee. But I mean, you might do a shooting game, and that might be like a shotgun, automatic rifle. So the core has the notion of an attack, and it has the notion of an attack type, but it doesn't implement any attack types. That's for you to do. So the genre fantasy one is an out of the box. Hey, there's a load of common stuff for fantasy things, so it knows about races and other such stuff. I am gonna want the combat one. Let's add that in there. I'll add them all in. Because I'll probably use quests at some point. That'll probably be a destroy 10 things and something will happen. Woo. Yeah. So anyway, that's why all these things are rather than just being install RPG Core. I could do that, but I'm installing all the other bits as well because I'm probably going to end up using them at some point. And each bit builds on. So you got the core bit, and then on top of that, you got the quest bit, which requires the core bit and some items. That one. No, sorry, that one. So they're basically all kind of built on top of each other. If you imagine the core with the items on top of that, and the quests on top of that, and localization's kind of to the side because that allows us to have multilingual stuff in different things. Anyway, that's what that's all about. Let's unmute them and go back to it. You're back.
Oh no! I got the commands from. Oh yeah,
I
got the commands from that article, didn't I?
Did you not put like your commands in like a special notepad file for like quick reference?
No.
You should totally do that from now on, Tom.
I did put them.
If you just press up, are they still in the command buffer?
Nice. Okay, so first I need to create that Docker instance.
Yeah.
With that jar.
Yeah.
Okay,
as
that's
part
right.
of the local API thingy, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. Now I need to create table using endpoint URL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can
list tables.
List tables, whatever. Yeah, it's there. And then you can do oh god, wherever the start thing is, that one. Yeah. Oh, you're in system 32.
I'm checking them in. So these are all pre-made help stuff. If I just could do a quick decompile. The stats object. So the idea is, if I go to the in the thing, so there's loads of stuff there. Let's ignore that for a minute. So if we go to the notion of character, an I character has a class, a race, some equipment, and stats. I mean, equipment. I made a call there and put equipment on the character, but you might not actually have equipment on a character. You could leave that null if needed. And again, you don't have to use all these. You could just leave them empty or nulls, whatever. Like you might not want a gender in your game. That's up to you. But stats variables is what I want to touch on. So if I go into stats variables, so underlying stats like health, attack, initiative, all that good sort of stuff is actually just expressed as a floating point value. So within here, we have the ability to add a key, check if a key exists, a variable. So remove a variable, has it got a variable, and do an index on a variable, and the ability to see if a variable's changed. But so that gives us the underlying storage for an ability. But rather than like health, as if we just hop back a minute to where we just were, unit extensions. So as you see here, I'm using health as a method on there. So this is clever enough to know, oh, well, if I'm calling it without a value, I'm using it as a getter. If I'm passing a value in, I'm using it as a setter. So the whole purpose of this is that you kind of this health. So if we go to stats, that comes from OpenRPG core.stats. We can see that on the left there on the namespace. Health comes from OpenRPG core.stats. Does that come from there? That shouldn't do. I thought that came from. That comes from genres.fancy. It's bollocks. So that comes from OpenRPG genres fantasy. So the fantasy one goes, well, in fantasy, I know what variables you need. You need strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, blah 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 blah. And it extends all these extensions, so you can go, oh well, I already know about an ice defense. So the idea of this is that it's like a pluggable architecture. So you just go, oh well, actually, I'm going to make a space game, and then I'm going to add an extension method for getting phaser damage. And as you can see, all this does behind the scenes is it just gets the stats variable and then just gets the index for stats variable type strength. And yeah, that lives within the genres. So the genres kind of build this up. So we're going to build on top of this and add the notion of initiative, and some other bits. An attack will probably just be pure damage on here. I'm not too sure. I might no. Maybe I'll use piercing damage to start with because I would like different damage types and resistances and things. It'll allow you to do more stuff with it further down the line. So yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. So if you're wondering how do you know where all these things live, well, I coded that, so because I wrote this, I know these bits. You won't. That's fine. That's all the documentation's for. But just follow along. If there's any questions, I appreciate a lot of people will be watching in the future. By all means, hop on to any of the stream, ask me questions. Or hop onto one of these in the future and ask questions about previous episodes. I really don't care. I'm happy enough to discuss. I'm gonna put those idiots back on. Well, not idiots. Kate's not an idiot. Gooch is very much an idiot.
Basically, give the Lambda function the permission to access certain like resources using IAM roles and stuff like that. You don't need to pass credentials around because like AWS just like magically handles that for you.
Yeah.
Because like you basically attach the profile to the resource, and that means that when you use the AWS like SDK, it basically creates the credentials as it needs it. If you understand it, it means you don't have to create like keys and pass them around. It just all magically works.
Which is why the
Gooch likes that.
credentials.
Until it doesn't
Magic
work.
eye. I like magic.
It just all magically works.
Yeah. I'll check that out tomorrow, but I think that's good though.
I think we got somewhere. Progress was made.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. Well, definitely. Yeah.
So,
cool.
I feel like I accidentally absorbed some knowledge about how Docker and SAM work.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this whole evening he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get Docker set up," and he probably touched Docker for like 2 minutes. The rest of it was just pissed about with AWS. Well, the SAM thing.
Yeah.
And particularly DynamoDB having this behavior where it just basically gives each person that connects to it their own version of the truth. It's like, what kind of database is this?
Yeah. It's your own personal database.
Yeah.
Is it for each request, or is it like just once you've connected up? That's it.
It's per profile. So like you connect to it using the CLI, and that's one profile, and then like your Lambda function connects to it with a different profile, and that gets a completely different view of what you can see. So it goes, oh, the table does not exist. It's like, well, yeah, it doesn't for you, but it does for me.
So it's not
like,
even just
why is that default behavior?
Eventual consistency on crack.
No, it's just like it's never consistent. It's like perfectly segregated. Like, why? That must have fucked so many people up.
Like, it wasn't obvious either. It wasn't like mentioned anywhere. It's like, yeah.
No, it is in the document. It literally says it here. If you omit shared DB, the database file is named myaccesskey_region with the AWS access key and AWS region as they appear in your application configuration. So you literally get a different one each.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to bed. So I got workies in the morning. Obviously, school night.
I'm your man of
You could
leisure
probably
tomorrow.
use
That has been productive, although infuriating, and just makes me like, who builds this stuff and makes it so sketchy to use. But whatever.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah, if it was too easy, everyone would be doing it, and we wouldn't have jobs. Or we would, but we wouldn't be paid very well. So I guess it's
So yeah,
fine.
just the amount of pain that you can tolerate is directly proportional to how well you get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just keep it like
It's
that.
an endurance run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can withstand more pain than you. Right, okay.
Right. Cool. Well, I'll speak to you soon. Good
I'll see you
night.
next time.
Catch
Bye
you
bye.
later.
See you later. Bye bye.
Right, I'll probably carry on for about 5 minutes just to try and get all the hours gone. And then I'm gonna go to bed as well. So level is so in this instance a default character which comes from the fantasy one has one class. But there's nothing stopping you multi-classing. So you can have multiple classes. And level is tied to the class. Because and unit. Actually plus equals 1. Oh. That work? No. So yeah, so with some of it there's a bit of like looking around going, where the hell is all this stuff? That not read only. That is not right, is it? I mean it's treating it as an I class, not a default class. That seems like it probably should be updated as well. That. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because level gap. Damn, that should probably be a set. I'm not sure what default one it is. Okay, let's just I'll manually cast that for now, and I'll put that as a snafu to fix later. I can just do plus equals 1 there. Yeah, I am. I'm only gonna be on for a bit. I'm just because I've just shoved in OpenRPG, everything's just shut the bed. So I'm just gonna quickly go through and update stuff so it works again, and then I'm gonna go cry into a pillow. Initiative. We need to have the notion of initiative. So if we go into here, no, don't want to do that. So fully static. Yeah, I'll do. Fully static, and it's probably be in an int. Oh no, it's always a float, isn't it, with these things? Initiative. Have I? No, not that they've got initiative. And I'm putting the extension method on the unit. I could put it on default character or whatever, but as we're going to reference everything as a unit, I'm going to keep it as that for now. So that's going to be the getter for initiative. So return unit.stats. And this is where I'm going to need to make a stats type. So if I go back to where's the thing? Solution Explorer. As you can see while I go through, I do use Visual Studio. I just don't always get on with it. I normally use Rider for open source stuff, but Blazor and Rider don't get on. I mentioned that in the previous episode, so just gonna carry on with this. Alright, so add the notion of types. Types and oh, we got one. Okay. That's good. Like that. And we're gonna have a because I'm lazy, I'm just gonna copy and paste in here. And because I've got ReSharper, it'll allow me to just fudge stuff in here and then just shove it in a new file. You might not have ReSharper. Well, you might not need ReSharper. I'm not sure if Visual Studio comes with this out of the box these days. But if not, you can do this the long way around. So let me just see how do I do it in the other library. Assembly Explorer. Fancy types. So where is start type? Start variable types. Right, okay. Maybe I should put start variable types as well. Yeah, there we go. And then it's just indexes. So I basically want to add because I'm building on top of this. I basically want to start after 71. So I'll go start variable types, and I'll start on. Actually, no, I can actually extend this from variable types in no that one. Oh no, I've done it as a static there. I probably should have done it as a static. I normally do them as normal class so you can inherit off them, but it doesn't matter. That'll probably be a snafu to update at some point. So anyway, 71 was the one I mentioned. So initiative balls. Let's go with 80. So that gives us room for. Actually, let's go for 90. That gives us room for movement in the underlying library. And as I said, I can move to its own class. Done. Its own file. Don't care about that. Classes. So I still need them. Might need to revise that. Actually, this might be a bigger job than I thought it'd be in terms of moving stuff. Because I only took in the damage things and stuff. Anyway, let me go back to. Was it that? No, it was the other one. No, I'm just getting completely lost now. It was in the the game one's world, I think. Yeah, I normally use Control Shift N on I'll just find it in here. On Rider, and I'm more used to using that than this thing. So right, initiative there. Yes, I need to go to the extension here. That's going to be start. But no. Available types in that. Initiative. Right, so that gives us a getter for initiative, and then you need a setter for that. So put that in. Initiative is we get treat it as an int, really. Actually, I can treat this as an int coming out anyway because I can just cast it. That's the cool thing about this. Even if it's a float underneath, you can still just cast it to an int. So at the high level, you can kind of control how stuff should be exported and used in your domain, really. Int initiative. Initiative equals that. So we've got a getter in the setter for that. So if I hop back to wherever we were for initiative stuff, which was in world. There we go, huzzah! Now we've got the notion of initiative. And well, it's not amazing having it as a function every time you want to check something, because there is going to be an incurred cost on that. It's going to be negligible, but you're effectively going to be doing a function push on the stack and doing the reading stuff. So it's not going to be as performant as reading as a first class citizen. However, it's a lot fast. It's a lot more flexible, and you can cache this. So, for example, if you're going to be reading these things quite often, you could just create a caching layer where you do have first class citizens for your game, which ultimately just hook into the underlying ones and just cache them for a period until they change. Because variables will update you when they've changed anyway. So you can introduce a caching layer if you want to, but that's outside the scope of this. I don't really care if stuff's slow at this point. I just want it to be functional. I mean, we're making it in a web page. It's not going to be 100 frames per second there, is it? Well, it might be, but that's not the goal. Anyway, right, so that's everything on there working. And I've gone with slashing damage as the default damage type for now. Right, so don't actually care about this too much. Builder. Oh, see, I'm not sure if I put that in the web layer. If I go all the way back to here. When I made this, I remember thinking, oh yeah, so there's the character builder. Yeah, maybe I want to bring some of that into here. And I'm also going to need to bring the notion of repositories in and bring the actual data bits in as well. Because again, this is mainly models for data. It doesn't actually come out of the box with models. So if we go to data here, there's a class repository. No, wrong one. Look up. No. Actually, it'll be in the other one. In web, I imagine. No. Root. Yeah, no. No. Until it's in here somewhere. Gotta be. No. Where does it read from? Tell me anyway, it reads. Oh, no, I'm full of shit. I just hard coded it in here. Oh, amazing. But if I was to go to OpenRPG editor, source, data, items. No. No. Don't tell me it's not in this one either. Gotta be in one of them. Goodness me. That's it. Oh my goodness. It must dynamically generate them locally. Anyway, it's kind of abstracted, so you can shove in XML, JSON files, whatever. As long as you've got a way of loading up the file into memory, the repositories basically act as in-memory databases. That's all I was trying to point to. We've gone on a fucking rabbit hole here, and that's wasted yours and my time. So I don't have a default build out of the box, so let's just go with that again for now. Don't really care too much about a lot of this stuff. Health, yeah, that all does that. So, new unit. Right, name locale ID. So again, we can treat certain locale IDs as direct strings. We don't have to. So, for example, the name locale ID could be a string which identifies in the locale tables what the name should be. So then, if you've got Hans in English, you might be Fred, whereas in Germany, you might be Hans. I don't know. It's probably not that useful for actual people names. But for items, for example, a sword isn't called a sword in Japanese. I don't know what it's in Japanese, but anyway. So yeah, attack is going to be slashing attack at this point. Actually, you know what? I'm that tired right now. I'm not gonna bother because I'm gonna need to go through so much shit in here, and it's probably gonna be easier for me to just rip out one of the other builders and put that in here because I'm gonna need to do a load of polyfill stuff. I'm gonna need to get race types, class types, stuff like that loaded in. So that'll probably be a whole episode in itself, actually. So it'll probably be easier if I go through the whole bit there and then. But then once that's all done, then it's kind of a case of well, we've got these JSON files which describe what classes we've got and races and all this other stuff. So we can go, hey, we want to add a new class. Let's just crack open the JSON file and add it in there. So again, you're more data driven rather than having to. I always use Unity as an example, but in Unity, you probably get crack open a bloody stack scriptable object and be using that as a weird database thing, and Unity will be like, oh, it's fine, put in the view layer, and it's just bobbins. It's good for editor customization, but you can do editor customization on a JSON file or whatever you want to. You can just load it in. So yeah, there's swings around. There's pros and cons for different things, but as it's me just pissing around with my own idea, I'm just going to do it how I do it, which would be more of a data driven approach. And as I said before, If you're a designer person and you don't do as much code, don't do it this way. Do what makes sense to you. So you might want to dive in head first on the view side of things, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you ship the game, you've won. But I find, generally speaking, a lot of people, especially new people, will just be diving in, not really having any idea of what to do, and they'll just start creating the functionality directly in the game objects and stuff, and that's not very extensible and easy to test and all that stuff. Like with these things, I could, if I wanted to, go write a unit test for Unit Builder, and somebody might go, "Oh, you can do unit tests in Unity." You can through the Unity editor. Try and do it outside the Unity editor; it shits the bed because the DLL it uses for NUnit is custom made to only run in the editor, which is stupid. And if you try and then get around that by manually running the NUnit things inside Unity, on the other bits it kicks off because the dependencies for the DLL inside Unity is different to the normal NUnit one. So it's not quite as easy as going, oh, well, you can run this stuff in Unity. You can, but as always, you've got to run it in the Unity layer. In Modern Game, it's not so bad because Modern Game's just its own DLL, so you can do stuff through there. And I apologize if you don't care about these things, and I'm just waffling on about all this stuff. But I talk to a lot of game devs of a lot of devs, be it in web, mobile game, and there's varying questions which always come out around dependency injection and testing and how do I best make my stuff extensible and make sure I'm not going to trip myself up in the future. And that's why I might just waffle for 10 minutes about the joys of IOC or something like a complete loon. But in my opinion, those are the important nuggets of information that I'm trying I'm trying to share with the wider audience. And you might be thinking, you are full of shit. Dependency injection is not good. I've read on the uni forums that dependency injection is shit, and yeah, it's try to make a bastion of sense in an otherwise crazy world. And like with most things, if you've been trained to use a hammer and somebody comes in and goes, "Hey, here's a saw," you'll be like, "Piss off! I can cut a tree down with a hammer. It's fine." But there's actually better ways to do certain things. But it always requires a bit of investment on time and understanding, which I've found historically. A lot of new game developers or new programmers, they just see it as overcomplication. And you've got veteran programmers as well who, because game dev has matured a lot differently to app development, and to them it's just nonsense. It's just noise. It's complex. They just want to write. I just want to shove stuff in the class and use inheritance. I'm not saying that's bad. If you want to do that, cool, go ahead and do it. But from a flexibility perspective, for maintenance and testability, maintenance, pretty much everything goes up if you start using composability, which also leads to the idea of, hey, you can test stuff easier and blah blah blah. I'm going to go to bed. It's been it's been good. Any questions? Fire them over. Whatever. Next time I'm on. I haven't put them public on YouTube yet because I'm not sure if I'm going to run like a little VOD thing of these. So that's the Discord chat. If you've got any questions, go on the Discord chat. Get on the Discord, and just send us messages. It's been good. It's been emotional, and I need to go to sleep because it's gone past 12 now, midnight. True story. Where's the thing? There it is. Stop stream. Bye bye. Good night.